Alright, now this is your desktop. So this video is the title of it is going to be what we've done is we just talked about going to be organized, and we've already decided on a location, and the location is My Documents. So right now we'll just go over getting to My Documents. So I'm going to go to the Start button, and then we'll go up to Documents. And even though it says Documents, it's still My Documents. So I don't know why they did that, but that's how they do it. So we'll use that. I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. That's going to open our folder here, and what we've done is we've created a folder called Pro Tools Projects, and so that's going to be our location so that we can stay organized no matter what we want to attempt. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open that folder also, and so it's blank. So in that folder I'm going to create a new folder called 0 templates. So I'm going to right click, and then I move down the menu here and I go to new and create folder, and there's my folder. So I'm going to type in 0 template. Okay, cool. Alright, now that we have that, so we can come up with any other, if you wanted to put your songs in here, I would suggest making another folder called like songs, another folder called like work, so that you have a place to save. Like when you come to a point where you say, okay, this song sounds okay, you can save it in songs, 0 songs. Yeah. If it's a work in progress and you know you need to work on it, you save it in work. Right. So you know you need to go work on the stuff in work. It's just how your mind thinks. However, you can do it any way you want to, but I'm just telling you just a suggestion on how to do it. And this is too. Okay, so we've created this one called 0 templates. So while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and do another one called 0 work. So I'm going to do a right click and then go to new, and click on folder, and then we'll go ahead and type in 0 and then work. Press enter. Okay, so now we've created our area here. I like to think of it as being just like Area 51. It's an experimental area. You can do whatever you like. Alright, so now I can minimize that, and I'm going to go back into Pro Tools here and open that up. And so here's our Pro Tools screen. We're going to start off with a blank slate, but at the same time we want to keep in mind that we want to use what works. So since we want to use what works, let's go ahead and open a ready-made template. So I'm going to go into File, and then we're going to go ahead and say Open Session, and then I can look in here and see if there's a ready-made template. Okay, so there is a ready-made template here. We want to let's try an older template here. You can look at the date by you can arrange these information things on here however you want. So like here it says date taken, but I want to see what the date is of the file, right? So I'm going to right click on it and just hit on date modified instead. So that's going to add date modified. There it is, and I can just drag that and put it in where I want. If I want to know what size it is, let's drag that over too. So now I know the date it was modified and the size. Yeah. And that's more helpful to me than that other garbage. Excuse my French. Anyway, so now looking at the date, I can also click on it and it's going to go in order. So the most recent one is here, and it goes older, and if I click it again, it'll sort oldest to newest. So here's a template. So the oldest template file, that means that the oldest template file is template 2.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that as a starting point, because I know that I've already got useful information in that template that I can use to create the template I want now.
Right.
Alright, so I'm going to click on that, template 2, and hit open, and that's going to load it into Pro Tools. The original disk allocation for the session cannot be used. Check the disk allocation window, and we'll just go ahead and OK, or yeah, let's say yes, and then please choose a location to save notes. Let's save them to our new location here, which is going to be My Documents. So C, and then we should be able to get to My Documents from here. So I just click the down arrow, and then I should be able to locate Documents. Here we are. Click on Documents. So here's Documents. Oh, I don't see that. Okay, let's go back up. Here's Computer. Okay, here's CPBOK. Let's open that up. And here's Documents. And we should see Download. There's okay, Pro Tools Projects. That's what we want. Now, if that was confusing, let's think of it another way. Let me do the same thing, but I'm going to show you in a different way. Okay, so when you click, all these Windows computers are pretty much designed the same, so that when you have like a person logged in like you're CPBOK, right? Yeah. CPBOK has a location that you can get to, and you can just click here on the item where the drop down arrow is, right? And it'll show you. You can get to your desktop, and you can get to CPBOK, and then under CPBOK you've got your documents. So Documents is really My Documents.
Okay.
That's where we want. I click there, and then here's my Pro Tools projects under My Documents. Right. So if you ever have that way, the reason why I made that folder there is because it makes it easy to get to, easy to save to. Okay. So we're easy to get to, so let's get in there. There it is. So now I'm going to click Save, and now it goes in and it starts, and it opens up that template. Now I've created this template when I was here before months ago. I have no idea what's in it. It doesn't really matter. It's pretty much blank, but it doesn't really matter because I know that I wouldn't put anything into a template that I couldn't use. So that's why I grabbed the oldest one, because there's no modifications to it. It's just a simple template. So first thing I want to do is I want to hear some sound. So I want to I can go ahead and just create. So here's a track here. Like, I'll give you a good example. Here's a track, and there's several other tracks. But instead of even touching those, I don't even have to touch them. I'll just click on the first one, and then I'm going to go up to Track, and then I'll click on that, and I'm going to create a new track. So I clicked on that, and I'm going to make it a create one mono. Let's make it stereo, which is going to be an instrument track. And then I'll hit create. So the track that I just created is this one, the one highlighted.
Okay.
First thing I want to do is make sure that that track is, I can get some type of sound out of it, right? So we need to give it an instrument. So I'm going to go ahead and say, now this says instrument track 4. I can double click on the title of the track and I can assign whatever I want to it. So I'm going to say instrument temp track. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying this is just for this particular instance. Okay, so here's temp track, and then go over here, and then so that track is highlighted. So all I have to do is go over to my inserts, and I'll click on inserts, do a, oh, it didn't let me do it. I got to turn the track on. Okay, so the track is there. So I'm going to hit, so we need an instrument. Okay, so I'm going to click on the little arrow here in the inserts field, and I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I come out because it wasn't that clear, and I can just click on the little arrow here for the first insert. And right now it shows no insert, but I want a multi-channel plug-in, and I can go down here and I want an instrument. So I'll go to Expandy and click on that. It's going to assign Expandy to open, and you should be able to play once I click on and arm turn the track on, which is here. Now you should be able to play a note if everything is turned on. Let's double check that. So the way to double check it, okay, here is Expandy. Expandy's turned on. Expandy is set for that track. That track is the second track, so we can open the a window to see the mixer and make sure that we're getting a signal out. So let's go. I went to click to window, and then we're going to look at the mix window. So here's our mixing board, and you see that track here. And there's Expandy. There's Expandy, right?
Yeah.
And this is our track that we're working on. The track is armed. So the R is on. And so let's look and see if we get a signal when you hit the keys. Okay, there's no signal. So somewhere in the...
Check your leg there.
Well, that is it's internal here. It's not. We haven't even got to the. We haven't even got to the lines yet with it. So let's go back and go over what we just did. So let's go to Expandy, and then we'll we need to make sure, number one, that the is connected.
That's what I was saying. Watch your leg there.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
Okay, it's plugged into, and then we need to make sure that that since that's plugged in, we want to make sure we're connected to it. So let's double check that. So I'm going to go to Setup, and we want to double check all that. So let's go to Setup. We'll go to MIDI. There's MIDI. There's input devices, your controller, and design. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to setup and go to preferences. Okay, I'll click MIDI, and that looks okay. So now we'll go back to setup, and then we'll look at click MIDI session. We're going to click on I/O. So here's I/O, There's input. Okay, the input is, it's just an instrument track. So the instrument tracks use MIDI, but we need to make sure that that we're getting the signal there. Here, 4 channel 1. Okay, here's our MIDI. There's a little MIDI thing here on the expanded. Go ahead and hit the keys again. Let's see if we're getting signal here. We're getting signal. Is your interface turned on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pause this for a second.